Hello. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my own personal pipe collections as they stand now. I really, as I talked about in a previous episode, I was early on very interested in everything. Right? I tried some Danish pipes. I tried, and these were all, they weren't artisan pipes. I picked up some Stanwells. I picked up some more freehand pipes. And as I kind of grew, as I started understanding what I liked a little bit better, I figured out that I really like classic English shapes. That doesn't mean that I only collect English pipes. In fact, I have two major, the two places that most of my pipes come from are, one would be England, right, or from the UK, and the other is from Italy. And what I really like about Italian pipes is, in many cases, they take classic English shapes and do something just a little funky with them. So I do have a tendency to have a number, I have a huge collection of Comois pipes. One kind of set of lines in particular, which we'd get into at a later video. This is going to be the first in a series of videos because my pipe collections are a little eclectic, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But then I have some newer pipes that I smoke regularly. I have a few pipes that I buy because I like the way they look, and I really only have one artisan pipe right now. That's not to say that I'm going to not ever have artisan pipes. I actually really like artisan pipes, and I really like the connection to the person who made the pipe. But at this point, in this juncture, I've had some things I've really been interested in collecting. And the first thing we're going to cover here is my collection of Bing pipes. And I do apologize, they're doing some construction down the road, but I really wanted to be able to smoke a pipe while I was talking to you today, and hopefully that'll stay pretty quiet, or at least I can talk over it. But the collection I want to talk to you today about is my collection of Bing's favorite pipes, or Bing pipes. Now, what is a Bing pipe? Maybe only one line really makes a pipe that they put the name Bing in. But that's the Savinelli, and I guess the others do too. That's a misnomer. But Bing Crosby, right, who most of you probably know, folks who've been around a while, and if you enjoy classic television, remember Bing Crosby from White Christmas and from Holiday Inn, which are two very classic Christmas movies. If you also remember, he did a little video singing Little Drummer Boy, I believe, with David Bowie. So you probably, it's a quick little search, Bing Crosby. When you see him, you'll know he was a big character, all right, and probably one of the most visible pipe smokers of the last century. And he while he did smoke a lot of different pipes, he was identified with this long pipe. And in fact, this is from the resurgence of the group of pipes that he used to smoke, called merchant service pipes. All right, and what these are it's a kind of it's a classic billiard shape, with an extra long pencil shank stem, right? So what we have is just a longer pipe with a classic billiard. I have them in a number of finishes here. Probably the most accessible one to everyone is this one. All right, this is Savinelli's, Bing's favorite, and I have 3 of these actually. So there's this one, which is the classic, and what they do with these is because he was also an avid golfer, the little stamp there is a golf club and a golf ball. But these are slightly bent, right, which is a little bit of a deviation from the Bing's pipes that we often saw him in pictures, and it's a nice addition. They hang on in your mouth just a little bit better. I really would like a straight Savinelli, Bing's favorite. Maybe that's coming down the pike. But this is just the classic smooth. Then this is a Savinelli rustication with a with a little band, right? That's one thing that most Bing's favorites have, although this one doesn't, is a band. But this is a nice little rustication. This will be the one that I smoke in a minute. And then this one, I bought this one. This was Savinelli's Christmas pipe from, I think it was 2023, I believe so. The reason I bought this one is because it has somewhat of a saddle bit. It's not a true saddle bit, but it's an interesting bit. I don't know. This one is my least favorite of the lot. It does deviate a lot from the Bing's favorite, but you know what? I'll smoke an aromatic in this. And then I have a few other that are readily available. Okay, there's some people out there that make really that make Bings, and I'm sure you can commission a pencil shank billiard of about 7 inches with just about anybody, and they'll make you one, and they're probably really good pipes, and maybe one day that'll be something that I would like to do. In fact, I think that'll be, if I do a commission in the near future, that'll probably be something I'll ask someone for. Now, what I'm loading this pipe up with right now is something that Cornell and Deal makes called Crooner. Okay, and what Crooner is a Bing Crosby was part of this group of people, right? That were considered crooners, the same you'd see from you'd consider Frank Sinatra a crooner. All the Rat Pack would be considered a crooner, crooners. They sang these standards, right? Good singers, but also they were public figures. And what's interesting about this is it has an herb included that's called deer tongue. Now, deer tongue is interesting in that it gives a vanilla flavor, or vanilla-ish flavor. Different people will say it tastes like different things and smells like different things. I think it gives a very distinctive vanilla flavor. But supposedly this was a blend that Bing Crosby actually enjoyed, or an approximation of a blend. This would be a match, basically, right? And it's quite pleasant. I enjoy it. I probably smoke a bowl every couple months, right? It's not like something I have every day. But I figured it would be perfect to have a bowl of Crooner while we're talking about Bing's favorite pipes. So those are the Savinellis. You can pick these up, and again, I hate saying prices and things on YouTube videos, because these YouTube videos are going to live beyond price points, right? But right now I can get all of these for anywhere from, you catch them on sale, you can get them around $100 to maybe $120, $130. It's a nice pipe. They actually fit well in the mouth, and that little bit of a bend, like I said, see, it allows it to sit a little nicer. So this one also has the golf club and the golf ball. One thing I really like about this one is, while it's rusticated, it has a smooth rim. That's a feature that I like in a lot of pipes. I think it does, it gives you the tactile sensibility and gives you all the positive things from a sandblast or from a rustication, but then you get to look at some grain as well, right? So you get a little bit of what the smooth pipe gives you. The other thing I like about this one is there's a slight bevel to the inside. That is pretty consistent across all of these with the exception of these two, which we'll get to in a second. So these are the Savinelli, and these are the ones that you can pretty much purchase and find anytime on smokingpipes.com, on just about. I bought this one at a trunk show, at a Savinelli and Peterson's trunk show. You can get them just about anywhere. They are readily available, and if you want to get into Bing's favorite pipes, these are the ones to get into initially. But I had to go a little deeper. So the first one I grabbed, I'll set this down so I can show you. The first one I grabbed was this Merchant Service. Now this isn't the original Merchant Service. This is kind of a rebirth of the Merchant Service line, and the whole reason this line came back, or this company came back, is to make this pipe. There are a few others. They make a panel pipe that's very similar to the pipe that was featured in Holiday Inn. They make a couple different sizes of the Bing's favorite, but these are very similar in size and shape of the original Bing. See, it's a long pencil shank, but it's straight, right? I actually prefer these over the Savinelli because of the historical accuracy. They smoke very similarly, okay? While I do like this, it's also around the same price point as the Savinelli. When they drop, you got to get on them. They are they're a kind of a super factory pipe. They're made, they're not made by the same people that originally made them, but when they come in, they go quick. So I recommend, if you do want to get one made by Merchant Service, you keep an eye on the website. And sometimes if you have, if you're in the know on Instagram or have friends that know these things, a lot of times I'll get a text or a message and say, hey, they're about to drop some of these. Now this is probably the only one. I like this one okay, but there's better ones, okay? This one's a nice one to have in the rack. I do like this one, okay? And it's nice to have one that actually says Merchant Service on it. The next one on the rack here is a Dunhill, all right? So Dunhill, again, doesn't say Bing. It's not made specifically to look like something that, because it was Bing Crosby. It's Dunhill. It's making a damn pipe for you to smoke, right? And a good one at that. This one is a Shellbriar, and it's a 2110. So if you get the largest one I've seen is a 4110. The 2 gives, so this is a group 2, which means it's a little on the smaller side of the pipes. But this one is very, very classically shaped, very classically sized. Again, it has the sandblast and the smooth rim. Has a silver band, which I need to buff out these bands every once in a while. They get a little oxidized, but that's just a really sharp pipe. I mean, this is a classic pipe, and among these, this is one of the more valuable, right? This is a beautiful pipe, and this may very well be similar to one, or this may be one just like Bing Crosby would have had. Smokes very well, a little less exaggerated on the length, but still right in the wheelhouse of being a Bing. The next one is, if you want to, now it's not really easy to find these Dunhills. I probably should have put this one at the end, because we're working through if we were going to work through to accessibility and price, this one probably is going to cost you a little more, and it's not as accessible, okay? The next one is made by Bruno Nuttons, and this one's This one is branded as a Bing. This is probably the prettiest one I have. It's a Sandblast. All right, it does have a smooth rim. It has a copper band, a nice straight pipe, and Bing by Nuttons B1, and it's a number 24. Now this is an amazingly gorgeous pipe, and Bruno Nuttons is turning these things out regularly. All right, they're accessible. They're a little more expensive. I think this one was a little higher, a little more than a couple $100, but a beautiful pipe and very much in line with what we would consider a class, and very recognizable, right, as a Bing. This, you pull this one out, they'll say, hey, that's a beautiful Bing pipe, right? I'm not so certain if 7L wasn't so common and popular, that bent would really elicit that same response. And I'm certain that this one, it's kind of on the extreme edge of what a Bing, following the kind of rules of being a Bing. I'm not so sure that this one is as recognizable. See, I've sat here talked and let my pipe go out. So my collection sat at that for a long time. And I knew there was one more. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I knew there was one more I wanted to get before I went ahead and made this video. One, because I had what is this? I have 7 slots on this beautiful little pipe rack. We should do a pipe rack video sometime too. I've got way too many pipe racks and pipe stands. But the last one I want to talk about is this Sir Jacopo Extreme. Now remember, I told you that one of the things I like about Italian pipes is that they take the classic English shapes and they exaggerate them, right? So this one, see, that bowl is about the same size as these other bowls, right? But that pencil shank is extremely thin, right? This is a relatively light pipe. All the weight's at the end. It does have more of a saddle bit. Nice little band. This is the one that I was searching for the longest, and I was recently able to pick this up on eBay. This one is probably the hardest one to find of the lot, although that Dunhill was not easy. But these pop up periodically. I had a few people looking for them for me. I wasn't willing to pay like a crazy amount for it, but luckily this one came in right around where I needed to. And I just recently gotten a promotion at work, and I kind of wanted to celebrate that a little bit, so I decided to buy this for myself. And it rounds out my Bing collection. So there are a lot of people out there that swear by Bings, and I can attest they're a great smoking pipe. They look really nice. You know, the long pencil shank gives it kind of an exaggerated, well, it is an exaggerated billiard, right? That's functionally what these are. I smoke a number of different things in them. This one, I'm smoking the deer tongue in this one because I was fine with this one getting ghosted with deer tongue. One of the kind of weird things about deer tongue is it will stick around in your pipe for a while. I smoked this 7L here. This one just says Christmas blends, right? This one says load me up with figgy pudding and light me up, right? So, and you know, one of the people that absolutely love Bing's favorite pipes the most is John David Cole, who owns the Country Squire. So I'm sure a Bing's pipe has had some figgy pudding smoked in it somewhere other than mine, right? So really what I just wanted to do with this video is start going through my collection and what I like to collect, kind of how I go about looking for these pipes. It took me, you know, 2 years to amass this group. Once I decided, you know, I mean, I bought the 7Ls early on. I came across the Dunhill. It needed some cleaning. I got it for a decent price, and I've always really been a big fan of White Christmas and Bing Crosby and all the crooners, and I thought, you know, this would be a nice little group of pipes. They tell a little story, right? They are unique, and they fit into the aesthetic that I like with a pipe. One thing that I don't like about them is they don't fit in a standard pipe pouch, so they don't go around with me very often. I wish someone would make a Bing pipe pouch. That would probably be a good idea. I do woodworking, so I'm not the one to do that, but somebody that does leather working, that would be a really nice thing to see. But moving forward, next we will I'm going to go through my pipe collection. We'll probably do a little bit of coffee stuff in between, maybe some literature stuff, but it seems like, looking at the number of people that view my channel, that the pipe people are a little more avid. Maybe I just do a better job with the pipes. And I'm not talking about we're having like a crazy amount of people, but you know, I have friends and acquaintances that'll comment on the pipe stuff, and I'm sure they don't even look at the other things. So we'll throw some Sherlock Holmes in here. We'll do some more literature, but I'm probably just going to start walking through my pipe collection. This is the first round, and let's see what we get, what I decide to show you next time. Probably some Dunhills. Well, that's all the time I have today. I probably didn't even have this time, but I feel like doing videos. I do the videos because they're a creative outlet for me, and I'm a teacher. I like to share, right? I like to talk about these things that interest me, and I'm glad that they interest you enough that you spent this time checking out this cool little sub collection that I have within my broader pipe collection. So until I see you again, drink some coffee, read a book, smoke a pipe,